border security is national security. Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Collier.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ken Hoover and Floyd Martin for inviting me here tonight. But I'd also like to thank you for being here as American patriots, for it is the American patriots that will make a difference in our society and will save this nation. The John Birch Society has a long tradition of standing up in the defense of the United States, a tradition that stretches for nearly 5 decades. For that dedication and commitment, I thank each and every one of you, for you are now continuing on forward with the tradition that was born 5 decades ago. I would like to also thank you again as patriots for being here tonight, for it is the patriots of this nation is the only thing that stands between the chaos along the borders and the rule of law. U.S. Border Watch is a citizens action group whose primary mission is to stem the illegal entry into and to defend the sovereignty and the freedom of the United States of America. Each and every day in this country, there are 25 American citizens who lose their life at the hands of an illegal alien. There is another 364 each day that are sexually assaulted or abused in some way. 627 more each day are victims of armed robbery or burglaries. And literally thousands each day are victims of identity theft. We are losing American citizens at a rate of 13 times that of the American combat soldiers fighting the war on terrorism. The American patriots, like you that's in this room here tonight, have had enough. The anti-illegal immigration movement began as a very small spark in the minds of many patriots across this country. Today, that spark has turned into an internal flame that burns red hot. It is my hope that one day that flame will spread like a massive forest fire throughout this nation. The sovereignty and the freedom of this nation is slipping through our fingertips like sand through an hourglass. If left unchecked, the sovereignty and the freedom of our nation will certainly come to pass within the lifetime of our grandchildren. U.S. Border Watch and the John Birch Society are two organizations who intend to slow the sand and in fact stop the flow of sand through that hourglass. It is members of these organizations are the soldiers of the modern day Continental Army, and they are the true patriots to this nation. Hand grenades, rocket propelled grenades, AK-47 assault rifles, 50 caliber heavy machine guns. When presented this list, most American citizens would tell you that these is a list of the weapons of war found on the battlefields of Kabul, Afghanistan, or Baghdad, Iraq. They are not. They are the weapons of war found on the battlefields near Laredo, Texas. I recently returned from a security operation along the Texas-Mexico border in the Laredo sector, and I went to places in this country that law enforcement is non-existent. The Texas Department of Public Safety do not patrol these places. The United States Border Patrol do not go there. And when American patriots like myself and others go to these places, we are forced to go in large numbers, we are forced to go heavily armed, and we are cladded in body armor equivalent to that of the American combat soldier. Each and every member of the Texas Border Sheriff's Coalition testified before a congressional subcommittee in July of 2006, stated that their officers come under attack by these weapons on a regular basis. It is that congressional subcommittee that was chaired by Congressman Michael McCall of Texas that is the primary focus of this discussion. This subcommittee was mainly focused on the southwest border region of the United States, primarily between Texas and Mexico. This region has experienced an alarming rise in the level of criminal cartel activity, including drug and human smuggling, which has placed a significant additional burden on the federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. With only 11,000 Border Patrol agents, patrolling nearly 6,000 miles of international border between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This leaves a large portion of this area, which is very remote and very heavy terrain, to be patrolled by local law enforcement, our sheriff departments. Sheriff departments along the borders are very badly undermanned and under-equipped. And in many cases, these law enforcement agencies just do not have the resources to patrol the thousands of additional miles that has been added to their jurisdiction, leaving the security of the border very vulnerable to those people who tend to bring harm upon this nation and upon us as a society. It is true that many areas of the southwest border region host a robust economy. The border is also a place of very high violence and crime. The criminal cartels are responsible for the smuggling of drugs, humans, weapons, cash, and in recent years, a number of terrorists. During 2005, Border Patrol agents apprehended approximately 1.2 million illegal aliens trying to enter the United States. In case of more than 165,000 of those came from countries other than Mexico. You will hear these referred to as OTMs, other than Mexico. These countries are from places and countries of special interest to us. A country of special interest is a country that could bring threat to our nation by the means of terrorism. A significant portion of the illegal activity along the border is related to the drug smuggling cartels. On an average year, the United States Border Patrol and Border Authority seize more than 1.1 million pounds of cocaine, 6.8 million pounds of marijuana, and that we know that no more than 10% of any drugs entering the country are apprehended. This leaves a large amount of drugs available to our children and on the streets of our cities. The Mexican drug cartels operate along the southwest border of this nation, are more sophisticated and more dangerous than any organized crime syndicate ever dealt with by American law enforcement. In addition, the human smugglers are now coordinating with the drug cartels to use the cartels' more safer routes to bring individuals into this country. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement investigations have revealed that aliens were smuggled from the Middle East into staging areas in Central South America, including Mexico, before they are illegally smuggled into the United States. U.S. government officials admit that members of the Iranian-sponsored terrorist group Hezbollah have successfully and undetectably entered the United States. The number of these individuals are unknown, but they do believe at this time there are more than 30,000 known terrorists within the borders of the United States. These terrorists come from these individuals come from all states around the country, around the world that support terrorism. These cells are located in 28 cities within the United States, and they include the following: members of Al-Qaeda, Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, and Al-Qaeda. These cells are known to operate in many cities in Texas, including Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, and our state capital. The drug cartels are protected by highly equipped and heavily armed present and former members of an elite military squad known as Zetas. Zetas are trained military special forces who operate within the boundaries of South America and Mexico, but these Zetas are trained by the United States Army at Fort Benning, Georgia. Their intent is to train these people to go back to their homeland and to fight the war on drugs. But once they return there, they are bought off by the drug cartels that has an unlimited supply of money. Recently, a vehicle was captured stopped leaving this nation with that much money in one vehicle. Estimated amount of this money was somewhere around $460 million, and that was only one seizure. Another. This suitcase right here full of this money was found laying on the side of the road near Fabens, Texas. Inside this bag was $11 million that was thrown from a vehicle because they feared they would be caught by law enforcement.